Now we're going to have a look at the effect of encrypting a disk. As you know, I'm a great proponent of disk encryption, basically to keep the information on your system confidential when you're using it, or when you're finished using it and sending it off for reuse. So with encryption, wiping really is gratuitous, sort of superfluous or unnecessary to keep the information confidential. So I'm going to take the disk out of this system and plug it into another one and have a look at it. So first I plug the encrypted disk into a Linux machine, just to show you that encrypted means encrypted. Here it is. And when I try to mount it, it said it's not able to. So there's not very much you can do with it in Linux. So now I've plugged it into a Windows machine, and as you can see, it knows all about BitLocker, and it's asking me for a 48-digit recovery key. Recovery key may or may not be available, but certainly in a situation like this, I don't know it if it's not my machine. So it's quite safe. Now what we want to do with this disk is image it. We'll just put it back in its original computer and then image it. So that's what we'll do next. Now I've rebooted it using the Microsoft Boot USB that we created earlier, Part 6, and got to the point where we need to delete these partitions. So you wouldn't even know that these partitions were encrypted at this point. Okay, so it is able to delete them. And then we're ready to do the install. There we go. So using BitLocker, there is no impact on re-imaging the system at all. The effect of it is basically to keep the data on the disk confidential. So it's not necessary to wipe it to make sure that happens. Now we're going to look at other disk encryption solutions, and I'll stop the video now. Here's another system that's been encrypted, but it's been using WinMagic, third-party encryption software. So to install Windows, we need to delete that partition, and it won't delete. So going back to the menu, we'll just have a look and see with 6, the script that we wrote to see if the disks are encrypted with BitLocker, and according to this, the BitLocker is off. So if you boot this WinMagic system, you get this. Well, I have no idea what the key file is or the password, so I'm now going to just see how far we get with that. Okay, can't find the recovery. Contact admin. Nice. Now I've removed the drive from the system so that I can see the PSID, which you can see here is required if you really want to erase all the data and use the device afresh, erasing all the data. And I plugged it into the eSATA port of this this machine here. Downloaded sedutil cli.exe. The reason is you can do this a number of ways. One of them is to download a complete image, make a bootable USB, and do it on the machine itself. Otherwise, you can just use this on a secondary device. So if we scan, you can see there are actually 2 physical drives. 0, which is the one that's actually running Windows, and 1, which is the one I've just plugged in. However, you can see the second one, drive 1, turns up as not an Opal compliant disk. That means this sedutil is having trouble talking to it. I think WinMagic's getting in the way, and it's not able to operate it. So it's not using Opal, which is a self-encrypting disk protocol, not protocol, method, well, it's data encryption standard. It's not able to help us in this case. Now we're going to try disk part. So the disk that we want to clear is disk 1. Okay. Not sure if it's read-only, but if it is, we'll clear that. And now we're going to clean it. So the clear read-only didn't work, so we've come to another grinding halt. So we're going to try the HP WinMagic decryption tool and download it from here. It's an ISO which you can install using Rufus as we did in Part 8. Once it's on the USB, boot it. So launch the SD Recovery plugin. There it is. So after the PSID revert, the disk was reverted successfully. It's no longer a self-encrypting disk.